Welcome to This Explainer. Let's be honest, if you've ever found yourself just staring at a grid of numbers, feeling this wild mix of pure determination and absolute defeat, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to completely reframe how you play Sudoku. We are officially moving away from that stressful, anxiety-inducing habit of guessing, and we're transforming your approach into pure, satisfying logic.
Okay, let's dive into this incredibly relatable frustration. You know the feeling, right? You think you've made a huge breakthrough, you confidently fill in half the board, and then suddenly, boom! A duplicate number pops up in a row, forcing you to aggressively erase everything until you literally wear a hole in the paper and you have to completely restart the grid. It is a universal pain point for Sudoku players, but we're putting an end to that today by diagnosing exactly where things go wrong.
So here is our roadmap to mastery for today. First, we'll break down the guessing trap. Then, we'll learn the three-constraint rule. Uncover your visual blind spots, demystify pencil marks, and finally, lock in the essential cleanup loop.
Let's jump right into part 1, the guessing trap, which is truly the ultimate game ender.
The absolute most devastating mistake a beginner can make is making assumptions when the path isn't super obvious. Our source material puts it perfectly, stating, Sudoku is a game of logic and never requires guessing to achieve its completion. Basically, if you feel forced to guess, it doesn't mean the puzzle is requiring some crazy leap of faith from you. It simply means you just haven't found the logical path yet. The answer is always hiding there in the grid, just waiting for you to deduce it.
Here's the thing. Guessing might give you this quick, exhilarating momentum in the short term, but it is a massive trap. Why? Because a wrong guess builds your entire solution on a completely false foundation. And the worst part is, this mistake usually only becomes apparent right at the very end of your game. You hit an impossible contradiction, which means all your time and effort was completely in vain. No fun at all. Which brings us nicely to section 2, the three-constraint rule, or how to build a solid foundation.
You absolutely must remember the rule of 3 constraints. Before you place any number down, you have to verify the row, the column, and the box. Now, I know it sounds super basic, but our sources highlight this as a primary reason puzzles just fall apart. Beginners often check just the row and the local box, thinking, okay, I'm safe. But forgetting to actively scan that vertical column, that is a classic pitfall that will derail your entire game.
To put that into perspective, think of a valid move like a pie chart. A move is really only 100% valid when all 3 constraints perfectly align. So that's 33% row, 33% column, and 34% box. If you only verify 2 out of the 3, your move is incomplete. There is literally zero room for assumptions or miscounting here. You just have to slow down and verify all 3, every single time.
All right, moving into section 3, visual blind spots, and exactly where your eyes betray you.
You know, our brains are remarkably good at tricking us into looking at the wrong parts of the grid, especially when we get fatigued or overwhelmed. For instance, staring at a grid for 45 minutes straight, that leads to massive tunnel vision. Your brain literally stops seeing new patterns. The sources are incredibly clear on this point. Taking a break is absolutely essential to refresh your pattern recognition. If you're stuck, just step away. When you come back with fresh eyes, the obvious moves will suddenly jump right off the page at you.
And there's actually a vast difference in visual strategy between novices and experts. Beginners have this instinct to focus only on the really active, crowded areas of the board, and they kind of avoid the completely empty groups. But pro instinct is the exact opposite. Pros actively analyze empty groups where external clues are clustered. They know that a totally blank block surrounded by heavily populated rows and columns is exactly where cross-referencing will yield the most hidden answers.
So to break out of those visual ruts, always start your game by scanning for what the experts call low-hanging fruit. Basically, this means specifically looking for rows, columns, or squares that already have 8 out of 9 numbers placed. It sounds almost overly simple, right? But when you're hyper-focused somewhere else, it's remarkably easy to miss these immediate wins. Secure these easy placements first to build up your momentum without overthinking it.
Okay, section 4, mastering pencil marks. We are upgrading your toolkit here. We need to bust a widespread myth right now. A lot of people think using notes is somehow cheating, or that true players rely purely on their memory. But the reality? Hard puzzles are literally impossible to solve without pencil marks. Using them isn't cheating at all. It's a vital cognitive tool. It frees up your brain to analyze multiple complex paths and spot hidden pairs simultaneously. You're not a computer, guys. You need to show your work. However, to keep your notes from becoming just a chaotic mess on the page, use this really simple threshold system. Step 1. Scan an empty cell for just 3 to 5 seconds. Step 2. If there is only one obvious candidate, place the number directly. But Step 3. If there are 2 or more candidates after that short scan, just add concise pencil marks and keep moving. This completely prevents visual clutter and keeps your solving momentum nice and brisk.
And once you note your candidates down, these 3 transition triggers will immediately tell you when it's time to turn a pencil mark into a final, confident placement. First, a naked single happens when you've eliminated everything else, leaving just one candidate in a cell. Next, a hidden single is when a number appears as a candidate in only one cell within a specific unit. And finally, pair pressure is when a locked pair removes candidates elsewhere. Learning to spot these 3 triggers? That's exactly how you master the board.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the cleanup loop, keeping the grid alive.
This cleanup loop is absolutely the critical habit separating frustrated beginners from the true experts. Stale notes obscure naked singles, and they create double-entry errors. Think about it. When you successfully place a number, it's so easy to get excited and just rush to the next block. But forgetting to erase your old candidate notes, that creates a sea of confusing, invalid numbers that will completely stall your progress and inevitably lead to a fatal error.
To fix this, you must aggressively execute this fast clearing loop immediately after every single placement. Step 1. Place your confirmed number. Step 2. Remove it from the row notes. 3. Remove it from the column notes. 4. Remove it from the box notes. And 5. Scan for new singles created by that cleanup. You really need to think of this cleanup as a mandatory part of the move itself. By doing this, you maintain a perfectly clean grid and you automatically reveal your next logical move.
So, what does this all mean for you? Armed with these logical frameworks, a sharp pencil, and an eye for that low-hanging fruit, you are fully equipped to open up a new puzzle and conquer it with absolute certainty. Sudoku isn't a guessing game. It's a beautifully structured, logical puzzle just waiting for you to unlock it. So the next time you sit down with a fresh grid, ask yourself, are you going to rely on blind luck, or are you ready to let logic reveal the hidden answers right in front of you? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy solving.